Are you ready to take some calls?
This is like usually I'm the one answering the phone, putting them through to you. I've never had someone put them through to me, so this is a whole new territory. I'm very excited.
We're going to take them together. All right. The calls, they're coming up.
You called. Presented by Playground.
You called, presented by Playground. I've been told we have Kevin from Montreal. Playground, by the way, your premier gaming destination located just over the Mercier Bridge, only minutes from downtown Montreal. Playground. You called? Kevin, did you call? Do we have Kevin?
Yeah, I called.
Kevin, what's going on?
How are you, Tony?
Good. How are you, man?
I'm doing well. Nice to finally speak to you for the first time. My dad's a big fan. He used to listen to you every day on 690.
Why are we giving them a plug for? Are they still operating or what? What's the story here?
With what?
Nothing. Forget it. That's what I mean. All right. Okay. Thank you. Say hi to your dad for me. Eh? Hey, say hi to Matt Ohayon.
I definitely will.
Say hi to Matt Ohayon. Matt Ohayon is my man. Say hi to him.
Hey.
Kevin, what's going on?
Kevin, I'm glad you brought the enthusiasm to the table this evening. Do you usually put Tabasco sauce in your steak or what? What's the story here?
No, I just been studying, so pretty burnt out.
Yeah. What are you studying exactly?
Accounting.
Yeah, that would explain it. Yeah. It's okay. Don't worry about it. I mean, one day you're going to be a CPA and you're going to be making all kinds of money and it's going to pay off.
That's the goal.
That's the goal, my man. What's on your mind?
Yeah. I had a question for you about the Habs, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously, like, we have trouble scoring goals and we didn't score any tonight. I want to know how many times you think we're going to get shut out this year?
How many times the Canadiens are going to get shut out this year?
Yeah, I'm thinking.
I don't know if this game happens 100 times over. Maybe Jake Allen lets in a goal in the first period 99 times. You know what I mean? It's tough question. You know what? Even though they got shut out in game 2 of an 82 game season, I'm going to say not as many as you think, because I think the offense is there. I do. It's just that they have so many other holes.
And what are your thoughts on Slavkovsky so far and out of 120 minutes of gameplay so far?
Well, he hasn't played 120, right? So he's played a total of 20 minutes of gameplay.
Yeah,
but 20. I think it's okay. We've seen flashes. Look, if you're not Sidney Crosby, Alexander Ovechkin, or Connor McDavid, you're going to struggle in your first season in the National Hockey League. I mean, that's just the way it is. There are others too who have done well, but there's a lot of guys who weren't great in their first season. They went on to be stars in the National Hockey League. Joe Thornton is one of them. Kevin, thanks for calling and say hello to your dad, all right? Thank him for all the support over the years. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Thank you. Before we go to Zach from Cornwall, now that I read Cornwall, there's something that just clicked, Matt. Someone sent me a message tonight, actually, on I believe it was on Facebook Messenger, because I get messages everywhere. Hey man, I'm a huge fan from Cornwall, Ontario. Jason Richardson is my name. Watch you all the time. We'll watch you tonight. Any chance you can give me a shutout, that would be sweet, man. Jason Richardson, hello, buddy. Thanks for watching.
And thanks for listening to the Sick Podcast.
Yes. I'm Marinaro. You're supposed to say, I'm Ohayon.
I'm Ohayon.
You have the same enthusiasm as Kevin.
Listen.
You this was a great choice. You are going to go far. Let's go to Zach from Cornwall. Zach, are you there? Zach, are you there? We don't have Zach. Zach is gone. Bye-bye. Ciao. Gonzo. Where are we going? We lost Zach. 1-888-5856. Question: are Laval practices teaching Marty St. Louis concepts. Well, this coming in from Angelo Zafiro. Angelo, I haven't been to any. I'd have to talk to somebody who's covering the Rocket, but I would be willing to guess yes, because even Eric Engels was saying this from Sportsnet when we talked to him a week ago. Adam Nicholas is there pretty much in charge of player development. He spends as much time with the Canadiens as he does with the Laval Rocket. And everything that they're trying to do in harmony. They're trying to do in unison. It looks like we have still a caller up there. Are we still going back to Zach in Cornwall or what? We're not. I see something, but we're not taking any calls. Boo. Boo. Let's take another question then if we're not going to take a call. We do have a call. Pierre is in Arizona. Pierre, how are you? Pierre, are you there?
Yes. Hi, Tony.
Yes, Pierre. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good, thanks. Calling from Mesa, Arizona. I'm originally from Montreal.
Welcome. Welcome to the Sick Podcast.
Your podcast, and I was following you also when you were on RDS and your other radio show.
Yes, that's right. Yes. I used to be on another television station. I got about 14 appearances last year. I'm going to get about 140.
I like the way that Montreal is going this year with the drafts and all that. I think that that's the right way to do it. It was a long time coming.
You mean the rebuild, correct?
I'm sorry?
You mean the rebuild? That they're going the way of the rebuild. Yep. So that's what you're in agreement with. I agree with you. I think it's a plan.
And I think that they're doing it the right way, even if it takes 3 years to get a good team. With the previous management, basically, we gave away a lot of good draft choices to patch up the team. And I didn't agree with that. So I like the way that the Montreal Canadiens are going direction-wise.
Pierre, what has Kent Hughes said on more than one occasion? He talks about being competitive for a long period of time and sustaining that. Well, there's only one way for sustainability, is to do the rebuild. Because if you're going to patch and patch, you could end up being a very competitive team one year and falling apart the next. And we saw that in 2020, right? In 2020, in 2021, we saw that. They ended up in the Stanley Cup final. And then 4 or 5 months later, some big pieces were injured. Others moved on. Danault went to Los Angeles. Stahl left. Tatar left. Edmondson hurt. Byron hurt. Price hurt. Weber hurt. Yada, yada, yada. Short summer for the players. And they just couldn't sustain it. So everything you're saying is true. You Called is brought to you by Playground, your premier gaming destination located just over the Mercier Bridge, only minutes from downtown Montreal. Luigi is in Ahuntsic. Luigi, are you there? Do we have Luigi? Luigi.
Tony. How are you, Tony?
Luigi D'Amore.
Congratulations, Tony. Beautiful, sick pass. Matthew, I'm so happy you're back with Tony again.
Awesome. Luigi, I remember you. I remember you from back in the day.
You remember me, huh? Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to see both of you together, working together. It brings me back a lot of good vibes and memories.
Luigi, you were at an event a couple of years ago, right? And I was there and Matt was there. And I remember you saying how much you enjoyed me and Matt working together. And you had called us one day when we were on the air. Actually, you called a couple of times. And you thought that Matt and I had pretty good chemistry, huh?
Absolutely. And I think I called Matt even on the sidelines. And I told Matt, I said, Matt, you did an awesome job. And I said, congratulations to your future endeavors. And
so you were able to see it, that we had chemistry together. Luigi, you would make for a very good program director.
But I think I'd be more comfortable on the other side, Toad. Just listening to you guys, it's awesome. I'm so happy that you guys are back together. and I listen to you. You know very well, Tony, how much I follow you. And
Luigi, you've been a huge supporter over the years, huge supporter. And you know what? I'm happy to say that I had a chance to meet you. You were a caller. You were a listener. You were a caller before you were a friend. And then I had a chance to meet you. And I consider you a very dear friend of mine. Throughout the entire season, we call each other maybe once a week. And we have a nice conversation. It usually happened when I was driving my kids to school. But that's the beauty of radio. I've shared my personal mobile number with some callers who became personal friends, and they ended up becoming great friends. And Luigi is one of those friends. Luigi, was this a good loss or a bad loss? What did you see that you liked? What did you see that you didn't like?
Apart what I saw, goalie played very well in defense. He played a solid game, I thought, and I thought Jake Allen was fabulous in the first period. He stopped the flood, or else this game could have been 6-7-0.
I expect, having said that, Luigi, I expect 2 games in 3 nights. Tomorrow they're in Washington. It'll be 3 and 4. Samuel Montembeault will get the start tomorrow night in Washington.
But it won't be easy, Tony. You're going to be facing Ovechkin, Crosby, and the big guns in Pittsburgh. And 3 games in 4 nights, facing 2 top teams, offensive teams, won't be easy.
Yeah, and I expect Jonathan Drouin to make his way into the lineup tomorrow night. Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, I would expect that as well. I think
you got to play him. You got to, you got nothing to lose. You got to play him. You got to expose him. You got to put him on the ice. By sitting him upstairs, you have to give him a chance. There's a lot of people already getting on his back, and I don't like that because you have to give him an opportunity. Give him a chance. Let him play. Let him see what he could do. You never know. You just never know. He's in his last year of his contract, and it's going to be good for him and maybe good for the team.
Yeah.
Maybe it's better in return.
Hey, listen, the reason why a lot of people are on his back is just because people don't believe anymore, right? They believe he's had more than more than his fair share of chances, and they just don't believe. Look, I really hope for Jonathan that it ends well. I was a big fan of Jonathan's when he was in Tampa Bay. He showed a tremendous skill set. I thought he was going to be a huge addition to the Canadiens, especially on the power play. But force est d'admettre, like they say en bon français, que ça n'a pas fonctionné. It just has not worked out up until this point. It just hasn't. Luigi, you be well. We'll talk to you soon. I know Luigi's a big fan of Luigi. Give me a CF Montreal score for Sunday night. Give me one.
I would say 3-0, but I'm gonna go with 2. Montreal. FC Montreal.
All right, there you have it. CF Montreal winning 2-0. That's his prediction for Sunday night. Thanks, Luigi. We'll talk to you soon. I'll probably call you on Monday or something like that. All right, there you have it. The great Luigi D'Amore from Ahunsik. Love that guy. We'll get to some of your messages as Daniello and Sammy will bring them up. Why did Allen start 2 consecutive games when he won't be able to play more than 40? Who said he won't be able to play more than 40? Matt, did I miss something here or what?
Also, he didn't. 2 consecutive games. They weren't 2 in a row. It wasn't 2 nights in a row.
It was 2 games and 3 nights.
Yeah, they're not going to start him. They're not going to start him tomorrow night, but that's to be expected. Jake Allen was there to relieve the pressure off Carey Price when he was healthy.
How many games do you think Jake Allen's going to get if he's healthy?
Give him 50.
50 for him and 32 for Montembeault? That's the way you see it going down?
Yeah.
All right, okay. Back to some more questions. Will Montreal have a winning streak this season? Well, it all depends on what you consider a winning streak. Is a winning streak 2 games in a row? Yeah, they're going to win 2 games in a row for sure. Is a winning streak 4 games in a row? Well, I'm not going to bet on that. But they'll win a couple of games in a row.
I wouldn't bet on that either.
You wouldn't bet on the Canadiens winning 2 games in a row?
No, on 4 in a row.
No, 4 in a row. I wouldn't bet on that either. 2 in a row, I'd bet on. It's going to happen. They're going to win 2 in a row.
Of course.
With a little bit of luck, that tonight was a 0-0 game going into period number 3. They won last game. They're going to win 2 in a row. 4 in a row, I wouldn't bet on it. 4 in a row is not easy.
And they happened to look pretty good in the 3rd period. But again, it was just too little too late at that point because, Detroit had already settled into the game. They were ready to lock it down.
1-888-585-SICK is the number. 1-888-585-7425. I want to let you know the number is toll free. A -2 for Brendan Gallagher tonight. A -2 for Uri Slafkowski, a -2 for Chris Weidman. They were the three players that had the worst plus-minus for the Canadiens tonight. Matt, we talked about Slafkowski, 9 minutes and 37 seconds. That's not the end of the world. They're bringing him along slowly but surely, very gradually. -2 during that span, though, is not good.
No, and, as long against Toronto, he looked really good on that play where he was cutting through the middle, drew a penalty, that tripping penalty. Had he had
he
one
drew
of those
another
plays,
one tonight, by the way. He drew another one tonight.
Well, that's it. So he's getting the legs moving and he's creating good things. I mean, if I was a betting man, I would say, probably everyone on the Canadiens this year, maybe except for Suzuki and Caulfield, will end the year as a minus. So is that really such a big deal? Not really in my mind.
No morning skate for the Montreal Canadiens tomorrow night. The Canadiens PR team has tweeted out they'll face the Capitals at Capital One Arena in Washington tomorrow night at 7 p.m. The Sick Podcast goes Monday to Friday, weeknights at 10 p.m. And if the game finishes just after 10 p.m., we'll be on right after the game. We'll get to your messages and we'll get to your phone calls at 1-888-5856. And here's a message coming in from Tom Crouchman. Tony, if Monahan wants to resign instead of getting traded at the deadline, do we do it? I think he's 28. Unrestricted free agents will want 4 to 5 year contract. It all depends on how much he's producing and at what number he wants to sign. Like if Sean Monahan plays the way he's played the first 2 games and he wants $5 million, I'm in. If he plays 50% of the way he's played in the first 2 games, I'm out. So far, I think so good. But there's a certain threshold that I don't want to go over, right? Because, Matt, if you allow me here, at one point they started to get carried away with some contracts and, then they got up against the cap and they're having a hard time moving them. You want to maintain a certain threshold. And we haven't even talked about Cole Caulfield yet. His contract is going to be up. The Canadiens are going to have to give him a new deal. And I really want them to give him a new deal sooner rather than later because he's going to end up scoring goals this year. And if he does score goals and they don't give him a contract when they are going to be ready to give him a contract, he's going to want to get paid. It's going to cost him a little bit more.
Yeah, it will. And with the Monahan thing, I mean, I really like the way he showed up because the Canadiens literally got him for nothing. They acquired him for 0 pieces.
Yeah.
And with the way it's going right now, if he could stay healthy, looks like he looks pretty good for a guy that came off 2 hip surgeries in the past 2 years. It looks like they're going to get a really nice piece. So I mean, if he continues playing like this, sure, would I like to see him in a Canadiens jersey? Yeah, but the assets that you're going to get back and the course that you're on, there's no reason to deviate off this course at this point.
Okay, you want to say hello to JF in Sherbrooke?
Let's say hello to JF.
Go for it. JF, how are you? Comment ça va? Comment ça va, mon JF?
Ça va bien, mon ami.
Hey, good. Bienvenue. Comment ça va? Ça va bien? Good.
Ça va bien, yes.
Content de parler avec toi, mon chum.
First of all, ça va bien. Tony, first of all, I just want to say, if I have an accent, I'm taking this opportunity to practice my English. So,
you know what? Listen, I'm going to tell you something. As you know, I started working now on a full-time basis, part-time, full-time, Monday to Friday on French Sports Radio and Monday to Thursday on French Sports Television, BPM Sport Radio and TVA Sport. When I announced to my family and friends that I was going to be joining them, several of them were worried how I would do. Some of them thought I would fail. I can tell you that thus far, the feedback, the reaction, the listens, the downloads, the ratings for my radio and TV segment are absolutely outstanding. I was very confident in joining them. You want to know why? because I said to my family and friends, the Francophones, they don't demand perfection when you speak their language. They very much appreciate the effort. And as long as you make the effort, they're going to be really, really happy with you. And they're going to love you. And that's what's happened. So when you call JF, the Sick Podcast, and you say, you know, my accent, this, that, JF, we appreciate the effort. Thank you. Go ahead. Your English is great. Go ahead.
All right, and by the way, Tony, I appreciate the kind words. And by the way, I love the show. I've been following your beginnings in the podcast world. So
Yeah.
first of all, congratulations, and
Thank
I'm
you.
happy for you. I was listening to you on TSN, and I'm happy for you. So,
Thank you.
that you have
JF,
kind
if
of
I can.
liberty. Yeah,
Um,
go ahead. Yep.
When Sammy, who was diagnosed with spinal muscular atrophy at 9 months old, and his parents were told that Sammy wasn't going to make it for the age of 2, and today he's 21, and he graduated business administration, sports marketing, and for 8 or 9 years, he's had his own social media company, and he has over 6.5 million followers on all social media platforms. When Sammy asked me to do the podcast, I made Sammy a promise. I made Sammy a promise that we were going to make the Sick Podcast the best podcast possible. And we set ourselves goals and objectives that we haven't hit yet. And no one was going to stop me from doing the podcast. That's all I'll say for now.
Well, Tony, I'm happy for you. You have some kind of Ron Fournier in you, I can tell.
Merci beaucoup.
I wanted to.
Paccioretti, 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 Paccioretti. I spaghetti cannelloni, Paccioretti, Paccioretti. That's Ron Fournier.
Hey, Tony, you know what? I'm happy for the Habs because it's a new beginning. Yeah, we have a lot of young players, and I'm patient. You know, I know what's going on.
Yeah,
Marty is playing 1-2. No matter what, we lose by 1, he changes it. He goes 2-1-2. No matter if we have enough skills to match the other team, giving the chance to the young players to show what they can do, show their skill. Tonight, yes, the first period, what we saw is a team that it was the first time on the road. Marty didn't have the last change. He did his best to match up what he could, but the skills, you know, Moritz Seider, there are a lot of guys over there that are ready. They're popping. They're just entering their prime.
Yeah.
So it was not an easy task for the Habs. And you know, Tony, what
Moritz Seider's unbelievable, by the way. He could be the next Victor Hedman.
Yes.
He looks like him.
Absolutely.
He plays like a young Victor Hedman. He's a general on defense. And when the Detroit Red Wings and Steve Yzerman drafted him, he was scheduled to go a little bit later than when they drafted him. When they drafted him, a lot of people said, what are the Red Wings doing drafting Moritz Seider? Well, let me tell you, this guy's the real deal. The real deal.
And I
Norris Trophy winner one day.
Yes, you will. And you will dominate for a long time. And I'm happy for the Wings. The team has been struggling for quite some time, and they're just, you know, with the help of Yzerman, they're coming up, and it's their time now. And they sacrificed a Quebecer to the Capitals. I apologize, Tony. I don't have his name now, but he was
Anthony Manta.
Manta, that's correct.
Yeah.
They took a chance, and I think it's gonna pay off for them. And I'm happy.
Hey, JF, let's do this in ending because our lines are full. I very much appreciate you taking the time, but to pay tribute to the great Ron Fournier, I want you to do this. I want you to say, "Hey, Tony, comment ça va?" And I'm going to answer like Ron Fournier does.
All right.
Ask me, Tony, comment ça va?
Hey,
Puppy,
Tony,
puppy,
comment ça
puppy,
va, mon
puppy,
ami?
puppy, 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 puppy,
Puppy.
puppy,
Eh ben,
puppy,
Tony,
puppy,
juste
puppy.
avant que je te laisse, just one thing.
Oui,
all right?
monsieur.
Just
Oui,
one
monsieur.
thing, all right? In the media, okay? I know what's going on with the team. I understand that they are giving the chance. They don't care about what the media is saying. Can we please just slow down the critics? Like, can we just stop every game saying this guy made a mistake, this guy didn't play well? Can we just let them play? They're young. Yeah, everything's gonna sort down. Everything is gonna come together at some point. It's just that every time that we critic, there are like 100,000 people who never played the game who's like, "Oh yeah, this guy is bad," and it's bad energy. I'm
Yeah,
tired.
well, I got to tell you
I
something.
wanted to put that across, Tony.
Yeah,
Thank you very
some
much.
players,
Have a nice evening.
JF, some players can have a bad game, but there's no bad player in the National Hockey League. You need to be really good to play in the National Hockey League. Jim from Kelowna. How you doing, Jim? Jim, are you there? Jim. Why does it take
Hello,
everyone
Tony.
10 seconds to say hello? How you doing, Jim?
I'm doing fine.
All right. Okay, good.
I
Yeah.
love your show. I
Thank
just
you.
want to tell you, I love your show, and I've got a big complaint about the way the team's being handled with these hooking penalties.
Okay.
I just don't understand it. They know the refs are looking for that, and you just have to tuck your stick in there, and the ref doesn't know how much force you're putting on it, but they're still calling the penalties. So why are these?
But Jim, I'm going to give you my take on this, okay? The more
Go ahead.
penalties they call, the more goals you're going to see. Jim, you love hockey. I love hockey. Matt Ohayon loves hockey. Playoff hockey is great. Game 1 versus Toronto was great. But there's too many boring games in the National Hockey League. And we need goals, Jim. Jim, we need goals. So we need goals, Jim.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't mind if they call the penalties. Yeah, it maybe disrupts the momentum of the game a little bit, but we need goals in the National Hockey League. Like tonight, you realize tonight was a 0-0 game, 42 and a half minutes in. I get it. If it wasn't for Jake Allen, we probably would have saw Detroit score 3. I understand that.
Oh my God.
But we have good players in the National Hockey League. There's good young talent. There's a lot of skill. We need to set them free. We need to see more offense. We need to see goals. We need to see players do special things. It's already hard enough because you don't have enough time and space on the ice. So I want to see goals. So if you're going to tell me that they should make, the players get away with hooking, I'm going to respectfully disagree on that one.
Okay.
Thanks so much for calling. I appreciate it. Jim from Kelowna.
Okay, Tony.
All right. Next time I'm in, BC, I'm going to make my way to Kelowna. I'm Marinaro, and that clip you just watched is from our most recent episode of the Sick Podcast. Once again, follow us on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's absolutely free, and you'll be notified when we go live. I'm Marinaro. Tell your friends about it. This podcast, like me, is pretty sick.